Hello YouTube, I'd like to share a story with you this morning about my first experience with Ramtha and the Ramtha School of Enlightenment. Ramtha is a teacher channeled by J.Z. Knight, and the event that I went to was in Belgium. I think it was in a village called Houffalize, a very big hotel. So I turned up, and I've never seen a gathering of that size for an event of that nature. I'd never seen so many people, like hundreds of people, actively engaged in their spiritual unfolding. Waking up, essentially. Waking up, various degrees of waking up at such a large level. So many people doing it. And so anyway, so the story was this. We had had some teaching by some of the other teachers, but not Ramtha. But we were told that Ramtha was coming to teach us in the afternoon. And on this particular occasion, it was at lunchtime, and we were sitting down by the river. There was myself and a French girl and this French girl's mother. And we waded across the little river, and there's like a little island in the river outside the hotel, and we were sitting there. And whilst we were sitting there chatting away, I remembered this little thing that I've done over the years where we make an invocation, and the invocation is to Mother, Father and the elements, and once the invocation is done, we then create something. So just put your mind to whatever you want to and create something, and then wait for that to be heard, and then it happens. And I've done this before at parties and over the past, and so I thought, well, that was a really nice time to do that. So we did an invocation to Mother, Father and all the elements, and waited until we knew that we were being heard, and each one of us said yes when we felt that presence. And I asked them what they'd like to see, and they said they'd like to see a fish, or the French girl said she'd like to see a fish jump out of the water, and the sunlight hit its side and reflect off of it, and then and back into the water. And so we made sure that request had been heard properly, and then let go of it. And then it's just a case of waiting for it to unfold. And so we're sitting there, and some time passes by, and then all of a sudden we start to hear doof 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 up at the hotel, and this is the music that the school will play to signify it's time to go back to the conference room, to wake up and start learning again. And it's just the sort of music you need after a nice long lazy lunch, because it gets you going again and wakes you up. And so we can hear this music, and the pressure is kind of on for this fish to jump out the water. And this little fish appears, half comes out the water, and we all agree that wasn't what we created. But then the French girl and her mum say, look, we really ought to be getting going now, because we don't want to miss Ramtha. We'd been told he was coming, and we knew that there was a good chance that he might be there. And I said, look, no, let's wait for a little bit longer. And literally about a minute later, this fish jumped out of the water, and it was very bizarre. It was beautiful. It jumped out of the water. There was kind of like a pause. The sun reflected off it, and it landed back in the water. And we all looked at each other, smiled, and started running up to the hotel. So we got up to the hotel, and we sort of rather quickly went into the conference room, and people were dancing and sort of waking up after their lunch break. And then Ramtha comes out on stage, and this is the first time I have ever encountered Ramtha. And there's all the thoughts, the associated thoughts with this particular occasion. You know, the doubts, the who is this, the, you know, yeah, all that stuff when you first meet a new teacher. Anyway, so he comes out on stage and does this wonderful greeting, and almost immediately after the greeting, he turns round and he looks directly at me and says, "The miracle was not the fish jumping out the water, but that you are the fish." And then he carried on talking and teaching, and I mean, I just shook. I couldn't believe that this had just occurred. Almost immediately, any doubt that I had about he, she, it, whatever was occurring there was gone. Because I knew that this being that was being channeled through Jay-Z Knight, through this gorgeous little blonde woman up on stage, was omnipresent. It was, that being was present with us down at that river. And he knew what we were doing down there, but then gave us the teaching that we didn't know. We thought we were creating something outside of ourselves, and we get up there, and immediately he takes care of that by saying, you know, that fish was you, don't forget. And so in that one moment, I got to know my teacher very quickly, and that he had the abilities and he had that omnipresence to consciously connect with us and be there whilst we were having that experience down by the river. After that gathering, I got together with the French girl and her mum, and they had heard exactly the same thing, and all three of us were just wow, you know. It was the first time all three of us had ever seen Ramtha, and so I thought that experience was worth sharing. There are so many experiences that I could share, but I thought that would be the first one, and I hope you enjoyed hearing it. So there you go, over and out for now.